Goner Kid is a grayed out version of the monster NPC known as Monster Kid. He can appear on the dock right before the Undyne throwing spear scene. Once talked, their dialogue would be,
"Have you ever thought about a world where everything is exactly the same? Except you don't exist. Everything functions perfectly without you. Haha. The thought terrifies me."
If you bring an umbrella to him, he will say,
"An umbrella? But it's not raining." Ha, ha. You know, that does make me feel a little better about this. Thank you. Please forget about me. Please don't think about this anymore.
There is some evidence that shows that Goner Kid is related to Gaster and his followers in some way, since his sprite art is quite similar to the other Gaster followers' sprite art. However, Goner Kid does not mention anything Gaster related in his text, so take this with a grain of salt. Before Megalovania was used in Undertale, it was originally used for an Earthbound ROM hack Toby Fox made at the time when he was known as Radiation Fox. Sometime after, Toby later used Megalovania for a popular webcomic known as Homestuck, webcomic series he composed music for, created by Andrew Hussey, for a character named Veriska. Then Megalovania came back to Undertale and the rest is history. The text the player sees throughout their gameplay in the narration box is theorized to be Kara narrating the player's action in the game. The theory is further supported in the No Mercy run since some text is replaced by red text, and phrases are in first person format instead of the second person. I suggest you watch this video by the crew behind the Judgment Void channel. They go very in depth about Kara as a character and how they play a big role in Undertale's story. Check it out, it's really cool. Link in the description. By traveling upwards from the Box Road intersection in Snowden Forest, if the fun value is set to 65, there is a chance that the sound check or test menu will occur. In this sound test menu, there are 4 tracks that can be selected. The 4 tracks are known as Happy Town, Meat Factory, Trouble Dinger, and Gaster's Theme. Upon selecting Gaster's Theme, no other songs can be selected. If the player waits for a short while, there will be a message displayed at the end of the screen that reads as, "Thanks for your feedback. Be seeing you soon." What could it mean? I have no idea. Maybe Toby had this sound test room for test players or his colleagues and getting feedback from them, but since Gaster's Theme is in the test room, it's most likely that it's hidden lore stuff. In the game, there are 2 unused sprites for 2 more Royal Guards. Royal Guard 3 appears to be a bug-like monster similar to a praying mantis, and Royal Guard 4 appears to be a feline monster. They have a similar spare mechanic to Royal Guard 1 and 2, that being 2 women who used to be good friends but had fallen out. Reasons for them being cut from the game is unknown, but it's most likely that Toby did not want to be redundant with the game's enemies being too similar with each other. Hard mode is a mode that can be unlocked once you name your character Frisk. Similar to the demo of Undertale, hard mode only lasts for the ruins with much more difficult enemies and less items. At the end of the boss battle with Toriel, the annoying dog would arrive and announce the ending of hard mode. But you know, it'll come out soon. Maybe. Like, please Toby, my guy. I want you to release this book, bro. Like, I've really been looking forward to it, and it hurts, you know, that knowing that it will never be released. It makes me sad. Like, please, as a fan, I'm begging you to. Sans is the heroic antagonist of Undertale Last Breath, Chapter 1, as well as being the main obstacle overall, and the brother of the fallen skeleton Papyrus. Sans was a lazy skeleton who was presumably born in Snowdin. After 30 genocide runs caused by the player, he was informed by W.D. Gaster, the former royal scientist, about their intentions and revived his memories in the previous resets. Sans now swears to make the human pay for what they done. So basically TLDR. It's an AU where Sans remembers every single genocide run with the help of Gaster, and he swears to fight till his... I don't know why it's in this. It's just an AU. I mean, it sounds cool, but I gotta be real honest with you, I didn't really care. I just looked at it on the wiki and that's all I did. I just read the first paragraph and that's it. I'm sorry, it just didn't interest me. It really didn't. I'm sorry. Undertale's battle mechanic is very similar to Tohu's bullet hell mechanic. A lot of fans also believe that Toby was inspired by many of the songs of Tohu. For example, in Photoshop/Omega Flowey's fight, there is this song that plays quite similar to a track in Tohu. Here's an example of a few.
Oh, I also forgot to mention Undyne the Undying.
The quiche originates to a time where Toby Fox found an abandoned quiche under a bench. Shortly after finding the abandoned quiche, Toby Fox had written an early description for the quiche in a deleted tweet which suggested that the player could not drop the quiche during the gameplay. Which I'm kind of glad he did. I mean, I wouldn't want to carry a quiche around me all the time. It's too big, too smelly. I don't even like quiches. This rare NPC only appears if the fun value is between 80 and 89, and if the player's level is 8 or under. She can only be found near Nastablu's house. She talks about her neighbor's daughter, Susie, who is never seen in game, but whose name appears in yellow text similar to other important highlighted text, and states that the protagonist should become friends with her. She notes the fact that the protagonist has no knowledge of where Susie is, but insists that fate will find a way, regardless of its choice. Post-game dialogue with her in the epilogue depends on if the player stopped to talk to her earlier. If the protagonist did, she gives an uplifting speech about the neighbor's blessing. Yup, that's pretty much it. Just a character named Susie who we never see in the game. Totally nothing mysterious. Absolutamente nada. The hacker ending is an ending that can only be achieved through editing the game's files. As Dog's song plays in the background, Sans says that he has no idea what the protagonist has done to get this ending, and explains that this is a call for an error handling message. He goes on to suggest contacting the developers so they can fix the game or add another ending. Then Sans says, and simply hangs up. Jack Black, or Jablisky Games, is an American actor, comedian, singer, songwriter, musician, and now YouTuber who has shown to be a big fan of Undertale, or at least a fan of Sans Undertale. What do you two think is a phrase that appears in entry 17? We are not sure who or what two people this message is referring to, but many fans believe it to either be Papyrus and Sans or Sans and Alphys. Other than that, all we can really do is speculate and guess. In my crackpot theory though, I think it's one of Gaster's followers, though I could be wrong. During Undertale's Kickstarter phase, there was a $1,000 perk tier that once purchased would have your fan troll be canon in Undertale. This is a reference to Homestuck, another Kickstarter project where it had a similar perk where if you donated $10,000, your fan troll will be canon for one panel comic and they will be dead afterwards. That being said, if you subscribe and like and comment and turn on the bell notification on this channel, you will be canon in my channel's lore. Yeah, that's right, I got a hidden lore. It's very deep. You just gotta look into my videos, my two fucking videos that I have on this channel. Also, my statistics show me that negative infinity of you are not subscribed, and if you want to change that, you gotta hit that button, bro. Just hit it. Just hit it with your little fingers. Come on. Just tap it with your nasty little fingers. After the player is attacked by Flowey, Toriel takes the player through the ruins, which is made up of several connecting hallways and rooms, many of which have puzzles and monsters. Partway through, Toriel asks the player to wait where they are so she can go ahead and finish something. While waiting for Toriel, you can call her and talk about her life, her likes and her dislikes, her hobbies. You can call her Hot Mama, you know, the usual topics. After a while though, Toriel's phone will get stolen by the annoying dog. Waiting for Toriel isn't an option, and if you want to progress the story, you have to go without her. I know it's a shame, but you know, that's what life is. It's unfair, it fucks you over. It's unfair and it fucks you over. It's unfair and it fucks you over. It's unfair and it fucks you. The fun value is Undertale's version of RNG. They are chosen randomly for each playthrough, and there are some events which are determined by your fun value. An example of a random event is the wrong number song in Snowden, Alpha's pizza order, or Sans prank call. Fun value also determines what NPCs spawn in the game. For an example, a fun value of 66 would have a fake hallway appear with a great door. In that door is a room with only a strange figure who is only labeled Mystery Man in the game's files. He has no collision and once interacted would make a sound and disappear. A lot, and I mean a lot, of people think this man is Gaster. But there is also this sprite which can also be Gaster too, so you can never be sure. Doge was an unused monster that was going to be part of the Royal Guards. Like Lesser Dog and Greater Dog, Doge is another dog-based monster that was cut during development since it was too detailed. Because there's never been a point where Undertale broke its art style. Nope, not at all. Not even once. It's all consistent. During the Sans boss fight, there is a piece of dialogue where Sans mentions something called the Anomaly. He discusses how he wants to befriend the Anomaly in the hopes that they reset the timeline. The Anomaly appears to be an unseeable force that drives and decides the fate of the underground, whether everyone leaves and lives on the surface, or everyone suffers and dies in the underground. The Anomaly is believed to be you, the player, controlling the human in the game, since your choices determine the underground's fate and timeline, just as Sans theorized. If you rearrange the letters in Undertale, you can spell out Deltarune, and vice versa. That's pretty much it, unless there's some hidden meaning. Maybe you can rearrange more words, like Nut Leader, or Nude Alert. Yes. Very deep and very thought-provoking titles. A SoundCloud account known as the Undertale OST Recreated discovered that Sans's voice is an edited sample of Patrick's voice saying,
"Maybe it's the way you're dressed."
In the episode Something Smells. So basically Patrick Star is the voice of Sans, and if you don't accept it, You're just in denial. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Don't rip the sprite message is a message for data miners to not rip the sprites of Undertale. It is a poorly written message detailing that Toby Fox wanted unused sprites to be shown in context, but it's fine with already seen sprites that are in the game to be posted online. The sprites that Toby wanted to have context are featured in the Undertale art book, so, you know, it's pretty cool. You can see all the unused sprites and stuff with context, instead of like randomly guessing, which a lot of people like to do, including me. There is an unused sprite of a robot with the numbers 98 written on it. It was most likely to be one of the action figures that was going to be in Papyrus' room, since it is in scale with the other figures on this table. Glide is a hidden monster the player can encounter in Snowden Forest. It was designed by a backer named Mike Reid as a bought-in character during the Kickstarter for the game. At the garbage pit that is located in Waterfall, there is a mini-boss known as the Mad Dummy, a ghost that lives inside a dummy. The Mad Dummy is related to the ghost that lives in the dummy at the ruins. The Mad Dummy will then go apeshit on you because you either 1. Destroyed the dummy that ghost lived in, 2. You said awful things to them, 3. You ran away from them, 4. You're just too boring. During the fight, the Mad Dummy throws knives at you while repeating a word many times. Doesn't it sound familiar? The Mad Dummy is a reference to Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Even the theme when you meet the Mad Dummy is from JoJo. Here, take a listen. Another JoJo reference is the Nice Cream Man's punch cards. Once the punch cards are used in battle, a line of text will read as, which is a similar phrase to Ora, a phrase that is said by Star Platinum, the stand of Jotaro Kujo. And I guess Stone Free, Tusk, and Soft the Wet, but I mostly think this is just a reference to Star Platinum, though I could be wrong. I would also like to mention Mettaton, since he likes to pose like a JoJo character. At Snowden, there is a mini golf course where you must push a snowball into the goal while it's decreasing in size, making it more difficult to get it into the hole. After scoring a goal, a flag will appear that can be in many different colors depending on how fast you score your goal, and you'll be rewarded with gold. The colors of the flag are the same color choices for the human souls. Why is there a flag goal course that changes colors? Why does it give you gold? Why is it there? I don't know, maybe it's a monster edition or something like. The Monster Kids word search is an ensemble word search puzzle that was set up by Sans to trap the player. The word search contains a bare-faced ice cube named Ice-E, which has been deemed the greatest and most popular Undertale character by Toby Fox, according to the Wiki. Because when I think of Toby Fox's most popular character, I immediately think of Ice-E. Anyways, the puzzle contains a bare-faced snowman named Nightmare that only appears when the fun value is set to 56 or 57. If the player attempts to leave back to the room to the left, Papyrus complains to Sans that he had made the puzzle too hard. It's just a little nice fun fact. And that was the last entry under the surface of the iceberg. Like I said before, it only gets deeper from here.